A few months ago, Steven requested me on Patreon to review The Ridiculous Six, and then after that, The Do-Over. So continuing with that theme, he wanted to know my thoughts on another Happy Madison Netflix production, The Week Of. I know what some of you are thinking. Another Adam Sandler comedy? What more is there to say that can't be said about the other ones? However, for this movie, Sandler brought in a director with an enormous comedy pedigree, and he has probably had a role in more than one thing that has made you laugh. The reason is because Robert Smigel is someone who absolutely knows comedy. This even goes back to his early years as a writer on SNL, where he came up with the infamous and still relevant Get a Life sketch with William Shatner. He was also the first head writer of Late Night with Conan O'Brien. While there, Smigel became the creator and puppeteer of Triumph the Insult Comic Dog, a character he still performs to this day. He co-created the very short-lived, but very funny, Dana Carvey show, and was also responsible for the TV Funhouse sketches on Saturday Night Live. That's right, you have Robert Smigel to thank for Tidy and that Disney Vault sketch. And in recent years, he served as a writer on the first two Hotel Transylvania movies. Yet The Week Of is surprisingly the first movie he has directed. I have no idea why a studio has not already given him $20 million and complete freedom to make any comedy he wants. Anyway, probably as a result of Smigel, The Week Of ends up being one of the better Happy Madison comedies in my opinion. While a little slow going at first, as it introduces the central characters, the movie eventually finds its groove in the middle act. A lot of the humor comes out of how desperate Sandler gets as he tries to make the best wedding for his daughter, and a pleasant experience for her fiancé's visiting family. I laughed quite a number of times at some of what ensues. There's a funny running joke involving a hotel with a serious leakage problem, a joke that successfully builds over the course of the movie. There's another funny bit where people think Sandler's uncle is a war hero, and this actually unexpectedly plays a pivotal role in the plot. Sandler is really good at portraying his character's quick reactions to everything that happens. Usually in his movies, his character's frustrations come out by shouting at people. However, in The Week Of, he mostly just sighs and tries his best to remain composed and on top of things in front of everyone. Chris Rock also gets some funny one-liners, as pretty much one of the few straight men in the movie. The plot is a rather loose one, but I like the way Smigel jumped between the various characters, and I did feel like I got to know these two families over the course of the film. Despite those positives, I did have some issues with the movie. For one, Adam Sandler decides to do one of his patented silly voices here, and I did not feel it was needed, as he was just playing an average Joe. Although, to his credit, it was more tolerable here than many of his other comedies, and I eventually got used to it. I just feel the emotional bits might have worked a little better if his character sounded more natural. I also felt The Week Of started to drag once we actually see the wedding take place. Part of that might be a personal thing though, as I tend to find weddings kind of boring, and the wedding in this movie feels like it plays out in real time. It really feels like they're on that dance floor for 20 minutes. The movie is actually very well paced during the second act, with everyone trying to make it through the week. At almost 2 hours, the film just can't quite keep the comedic momentum going for that long. They actually start running the end credits during the final scene, so even the movie wants to wrap up. With that said, I think this is definitely the best of the Happy Madison Netflix movies I've seen so far. It's quite a pleasant film that relies more on little things that might go wrong, rather than the gross-out gags that Happy Madison productions are well known for. Nothing groundbreaking, but it's okay. I hope this leads to Robert Smigel directing more films in the future. Give The Week Of a look on Netflix, and let me know in the comments what you think. Thank you for the request, Stephen.